removable Dyna grip. This is the brand I use. Take my jacket off, it's a bit hot. Okay, so with the one, I've got the Allen key in, I just lift it. A nice little blob. Move it up and down, get it all in there. Screw it back down. And it come loose, okay? Just hand tight for now. Do the same on the other one next to the exhaust port. Lift. Can't lift it up because I'll use the long nose to pull it out. Then we'll do this one properly. About halfway, just one dab on one half, half and half. Makes sense. Stick him back in and we'll tighten it down. I'm bringing you guys with me all the way through this. I actually enjoy filming the build, because I've built a few before but never thought about doing it this way, and now I am. Might use the muffler. There we go, beautiful. Okay, what's that passage for? That there's a little, you know, like the 041, they got the oil pump round about, oh never mind, it's the back of the, anyway. Pull this one out with pliers. I left the intake boot on there so it wasn't a pain to reinstall, although I kind of left it there so I didn't break its seal or damage it, because God knows if I'd find an aftermarket one of those. Tight. Bit of a pain. If I had to vice the dog spikes and hold it in that position while I do all this. Actually, this rag might hold it in position. No, it doesn't want to either. It will if I put that there and that there. Beautiful. Okay, this one I can do the lift. Give it a squirt. Up and down in the hole. Spread it around, put it in the hole in the threads. Run it back in. And I'm just going to use that socket. So we'll go here and tie it diagonally. I'm going tight to where it won't do that. Cheap tools. Yeah, she's good. We'll call that the torque specifications. Okay, so I said we're going to do the ignition too, didn't I? What have we got for this? We've got coil. Actually, this is really must be a late one. This torque wrench won't break anything, so it's just she's the Tool Pro for the mechanics kit from Super Cheap. Get this and a ratchet. So now getting that back off is going to be the fun part. I think I went through there. Use the rubber part of this hammer. Just like that. Now this goes in that's the screw that wire screws to. So this goes here, you can see where it was sort of siliconed in place. Goes in there and then under there, through the grommet, in the case. Coil bolts there. Finding the screws. Actually, there's one right there, I think. Yeah, that's one. Finding these. That's two, is it? Slightly shorter than the other one. That'll be it right there. No, that's longer. Oh, man. And the coil screws are bigger again. I should have bagged this whole saw up when I got it. Should have, could have, would have. That's got sawdust on it. Ow. It's got sawdust on it. Although the whole saw had sawdust on it. That's the same size, we'll run with these two. And I've actually got to the high tension wire. That must be the impulse hose. It's actually, I'll replace that. I've got the same size hose there. High tension. That's the impulse hose. Why is that? hose. So we're missing the high tension wipe. Oh no, there it is. And for memory, it comes up that's where it sits. So we'll screw this back in. By erection. Screw this back in. Get that out of the way. I don't want to break these wires. So that's in. And this coil obviously sits of course it does, it sits exactly like that. So that's got to go through there as well. That sits doesn't sit like that, it sits like that. And so I've got to feed this one through the grommet first. Yeah, I should have bagged this all out in snap lock bags when I got it. When I pulled it apart. I haven't touched that other one. Oh, that's what that is. That's the grommet hole. So I'm touch one of these saws like this. It's trying to pop itself back out because of the size of the eye. But I got it. So that's through. Kill wire goes down there. Oh, sorry. Spark plug wires that go through first. Kill wire. Coil bolts. Someone keeps messaging me on Facebook. Oh, good. Coil. I believe are these. No, that looks like AV mount screws. It's another little flathead screw. This is really annoying. That would be a coil screw. Judging by the amount of sawdust on it. And how shiny it is. Of course it is, because it's going straight in. Now I've just got to find the other one. It's an AV mount screw. I think the coil on this, for remembering, was crossed over to mismatched screws. Yeah. this one had one flat head and one Allen head, which is kind of annoying. Well, not really. But so AV mounts, I need 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we'll just put this one in. I've got a whole container over there of Allen type, these machine screws. So we'll push it right back. Get that in so it doesn't shred it, cross thread it. Make sure the flywheel's got enough clearance to spin this time. Yeah, that XL was fun, Super XL. First video for you guys. I tried to upload it in one hit, but YouTube, I don't know if it was YouTube's fault, but it was YouTube wouldn't allow me to upload it because it was 2 hours long. So that's why it came in 4 parts, 3 or 4 parts, whatever it was, 3 parts. Not finished, by the way. With that saw. I've actually asked around a few. I'm on a couple of sites on Facebook looking for parts. There's a bit of silicone around this. I hope it gets enough contact once she's stitched up. And that passes through there, see? Screws to there. And then it goes underneath, and that'll pass through. Actually, I'll do that now. Get these screws started, then I'll worry about. So this saw must be full electronic. There's no points. This must be just a big condenser, which is handy for me. If this stops working, you can put the module. Pretty sure there'll be enough room there. So I've got the Victor type, which is the one tab, and the whole. You bolt the whole unit to the ground, and it's just a positive wire that comes off it. So if this stops working, this wire here, sorry, this one that's bolted to this, whatever this unit is, this one here, I could just cut it. But if we're going to cut it, I might as well just remove the whole thing while the flywheel's off, fit the module here, run that wire to it through here, in theory. That the saw should keep sparking and the dog spike doesn't want to fit properly. That one must be off a different saw, but that's, I'll worry about that later on. I don't know why I'm worrying about it right now. So we'll get this on. Flat blade's a bit too big. on. That's done up. Did I do up these? Yeah, the flywheel's on the move there. So we'll get the flywheel back on. Nice and clean. No rust on the magnets. Just give this a light tap with the rubber side. Put the nut back on. Two ogre-duggers. It's tight. And it's tight. This top side of the coil touching the magnet. So this side I'll push to about there. That should be spot on. Where did that ratchet socket go? Bit close, so it's less than a business card, whatever it's supposed to be, 2000s, and it's about 2.5 the bottom side, but it should spark. We'll work it out. Start it back on. Pull the plug. I know it sparked because it ran. It ran before I pulled it apart, but that silicon on that little module or whatever you want to call it might not be touching that wire. Be a pain in the bum if I pull the flywheel back off. Not got to, because I've got to put seals in it. But I'd rather pull it off to put the seals in than pull it off just to cut some silicon away from a piece of metal. That seems to be going in crooked. Oh, the spark plug's not in it. So, I'm quite impressed with this. Fuel cap, I checked that last night. Checked the valve was working, it works. On my other one, when you store it, it's got fuel in it now, but I left it with, I stored it probably with about that much fuel in it, and now it's got about that. You can smell it leaking, and they could be a pain in the bum to find. Another, actually I got one on a, no I don't have a, yes I will have a spare 041 fuel tank, they're the same caps. So, work that in there. I might have to hold it against there, eh? Let's have a look. Yeah, not a good idea. It's not very strong, but it's there. Not very strong, maybe. Oh, when you pull it harder, look at this, look. It sparks. So, here's the plan. I'll give that a nice little more oil because the bearings are pre-packed. So when we buy them here from the shop, I don't know if it's, so this one come out of it. This is the flywheel side. It's an NTN 6002 Japanese, and it locks up. Hear that? Anyway, so when we get them here, you've got a nylon cap pre-filled with grease, white grease. So for like wheels, it's probably like a rollerblade size, maybe. It's a standard size, they say. So yeah, you're just going to pick them out, whack them in. Okay. That's nice. Stick the plug back in. I'm not running that plug in it. Actually, I might for you guys. That's it. Must be a later model. Does it say Stihl? So it's it's got Stihl written on it. I don't know if that's the later model boot or the earlier model boot. The fuel hose. Ah, that's why. That's the fuel hose from the tank to the carby. It goes like so. That's what that is. So yeah. Carby section is on the handle. Got the chain brake. What's this? It's a chain handle, the chain brake handle spring. Do have new AV mounts there, but yeah, look, that's why I ordered new ones. Still does the job. This one goes here. It's for the handlebar. Sits there. So the handle, this actually just presses in for memory. No, that screws, that comes out. Screw it back to it. This screw doesn't touch, it's got a recess in there when you put it back. Actually can't see this way. It's because I have it upside down. Yeah. I'll just show you. We'll go through all this when I get it, when we come to this section, which ain't too far away. Flying through this. So that's around about exactly where it goes. No, because that's upside down again. It goes that way. Yeah, no, I'm confused here. Ah, because it goes that way. Duh. So the washer goes to here. Just tightens down. I thought it went the other way. That tightens down. And it goes like so. The old clutch, no, that's another flywheel side. 6002 Japanese NGK. So one of the saws had NGK, one didn't. I think I just found the other. Yeah, I found the other coil screw. This one's clutch side. This one doesn't have, it's not scribed into it. It's just stamped with the same colour as the bearing. Can't even read it. Put the bar. Can we put the bar studs back in? Chain adjuster, tensioner. Pretty sure that just sits there like so in a guide plate. Is this the inner or the outer? It'll have to be the inner. And it's not flat. Looks like it's been attacked. Look at that. It's been attacked. Maybe it's through a chain many years ago. Work that down. I wonder when I tighten up the studs, will it pull it in? Because it is a bit warped. It can't be the outer because obviously it sits that way. We'll run with it. Got no. I'm guessing this was a nut, bar nut. Because why would there be one of those nuts? This saw will be getting the M8. I think that says Stihl. $13mm head. I'm used to the M8 ones like this big. which I think I'll be using again, Loctite. Oh, the chain brake model, yeah, the chain brake goes in the side cover, doesn't it? Oh. So we can smash out. Generous amount is a bar stud. Torquing them up, I'm going to need, although I do use vice grips, all those two, those two nuts that are already on this one, so that'll work. Genuine studs. I don't like the Chinese ones. Put them in my kits, MS660 kit saw, and they're just stripped. And I didn't even tighten them up very tight, so. So that's all I've got to say about that. It's got genuine studs and nuts on it. That is it. Everything else is Chinese. Except for the bar. Well, the bar's Chinese, but it's German steel. Chinese made German steel. One nut off, two nuts off. Go to the other side, repeat. Tell you what, it's handy having cordless tools. So when the bar goes on, yeah, that'll be sweet. I can't put that cover on until the seal is in. So this, I'll leave it in that light. Do you see that little tab there? It's like a little, like a stopper, I'm pretty sure, but it went all the way around originally, but I'd say someone has removed the bearing at one stage this way, and which has broken it all off. But when I put it in that way. No, that way. I put it in that way from the inside, because the insides would be flush. This one's got a recess, and from memory you can't put the bearing in that way, because in this one you can, because it's broken, but originally you can't go that way, you've got to go that way, if that makes sense. So I can put the gear for the oil pump back on. Seals is what I've got to get. Oh, look at that. Bit of crap sitting on bearing. So that's on. Kills. Yeah, I thought that was a touch too much in there. So that goes to the kill switch. I'm going to try and get a bit more back out of there. So that sits. I'm just playing with the wire here because the kill switch sits there. Yeah, I've got plenty of room. Probably put that back on too. I think I broke it though. No? She's good. Let's give it a wipe over. One of these saws I thought I stole the switch off for the A41. Maybe not the switch, might have just been the plate that says on off or run off. So there's the nut for it. Lucky that box was sitting there. There's the nut for the switch. Right, there's the plate there. This one just says stop down. Which is the genuine plate. So my other one says stop down. The 041 says stop down. Can't remember. The home lights to say. Yep. The home lights that say. The home lights say run off. Still, just say stop down. So it goes that way. Problem is, I think goes well, I'd say that would be on run, so we'll go stop down. I thought it was the wrong switch then. No, she works. Put the boot over it. Push it. Got to sit inside, but I've got all this wiring now that's in the way from the coil. No, that'll sit there. That one will sit there. Yeah, I'm doing this right. So we've got the switch is upside down. How do I know? It's got that little groove. Oh shit, too high. It's got that little groove. There's a groove in the switch where it goes. So that should sit. You wouldn't believe it. I had the switch around the right way the first time. It's kind of hard doing it on this angle. I'm normally looking straight at it. I'll hold it. Like, I did have it around the right way. I'll twist it that way. hopefully, if the wiring will let us. Groove up top, stop pointing down. I'll get it right one of these days. How about now? It's a nice shiny nut. Doesn't really matter what way the nut goes, I don't think. I'll let you in on the secret, in case you didn't know. This nut, the nut on the switch, you can tighten with your spark plug tool, not this one, obviously. This one. So this one's, I think, this comes with the Chinese chainsaws, and I think from memory I got this one with the hedge trimmer, the bum rag. So it's 17mm. Same as this one. It's 17mm on one end and 19 on the other. T25. So the kill switches I can never get tight properly without them twisting. That's good enough. Down should be off, up should be on. Kill switch is on. There's not much more I could do really. Put the oil cap on. Takes it back together. That's a good clean. I don't know where the legs went. Don't think it had any. If I find some, I'll put them on it. Unless this, yeah, no, it's no. It's supposed to have the little springy legs to hold it into the tank. Could probably do with a new O-ring. If indeed it is an O-ring, looks like it. Could do with a new one. It's full of crap, but we'll put it on. Saw didn't have any bar oil in it when I got it anyway, I think. Let's see if I can get aftermarket. Sorry. Aftermarket cap. Looks stupid with that starter handle, but we're getting there. Wonder do I just whack the look at that. Bar studs are in. And I don't know if you can see, but you can see the Loctite on this one. I think this one might be able to go. Nah, that's alright. Well, that's handy. The bar studs don't go into the tank on an A32. We reckon we test fit this muffler up? That's what I think. We'll just do it. Why not? And then about everything else after. So that's the gasket I was found with it. It's a touch too small on the internals, or maybe I have it upside down. That's why. Okay, muffler and bolts. They would be I think they have carbon lines, don't they? Or if that's one, that is one. That's two. Even just put the inner plate on, it'll stop the stuff going into the cylinder, dust and what else we got flying around at the moment, bees and is that the right way up this time? Nope. Okay, bit of Loctite. Hold the gasket in place while I start this one. Start it and then get the gasket. I was going to say I'll get the gasket in line. Now I can't even see it. Just turn the saw on the side, eh? Should be pretty, it's spot on. Almost want to pour some fuel in the intake and give it a pull. Not going to happen. Not without seals. I could go get seals tomorrow, but I won't be here. I've got to leave at 3 o'clock in the morning. Go back. Go back to REF base. REF stands for Royal Australian Air Force, if you're not from Australia. So we've been fixing it. Completely resurface the runways, taxiways, hangars. So we're almost finished. Why doesn't this want to go in? Because the gasket's high. No, it's just being a pain. A real pain. I'm looking at the camera now, that starter handle does really not look real well on here. One day off camera I'll go and find the actual handle that belongs on it. So we'll get this tight. Yeah, I think I'll run with this muffler on here actually. Don't know why I'm putting it on there, I thought I was going to weld it all up. So you've got a screw that goes in there, a screw that goes in there, and a screw that goes in there. And if I run holes, should be right, I reckon. I'll smear some of my red RTV around it, put it on. After I reckon I cut that hole out of there. I explained it before. So where the top hole is, cut straight down there, just cut the face of this off with a Dremel. And then I actually haven't taken the spark arrestor screen off this to see how big this hole is. It's reasonably tight, it won't just slide out. Okay. That's not a very big hole, is it? Opening. The opening there is bigger than that there. So I wonder, do I find a bigger piece of this and cut so I can get rid of that tab, that holding tab. Where that sits in. Still got these two. Do I cut that and then cut a bigger piece out of that, or put this back in and put a... No, I can't put a... Yeah, I can't do that. I reckon I'll just put this back in and drill a couple of holes in here to get more gas out, more air out. I think that's what I'll do. So we'll put this back in. The rest of the screen, it probably does do, probably chokes it. I mean, that one there's, I think I modded it, the muffler when I got it, but it's just slow. I want to build a slightly faster one in the cut. I mean, slow in the cut. I want to build a quicker one. I reckon I'll drill might even Dremel out a big opening there. We'll work it out. I mean, this is big enough to pop that weld there and make it a bit bigger so I can make it. We'll worry about that another day. looks ugly from this angle. But yeah. I think that AV top one, she's still good. So we'll reuse that one. Just sits there like that. And I've got two nuts and bolts here, small ones. I don't know what or where they go. They could be AV mount. No idea, but I'm pretty sure the AV mounts are the Allen head, but I'll have a look. Have a look at this one. Okay. The Allen head. And there's it's an earth strap. So I've painted fuel caps leaking, I think. So I've got Allen keys, Allen head screws here. This one doesn't have a washer. These ones do. Loctite. Yeah, I reckon they're way too long. It goes all the way through. There must be shorter ones in there. Not seeing shorter ones. Chip deflector. This one, soft. Thought I just saw someone walk past the door. Anyway. Yeah, I don't think I can use those. They might have been there. They might not have been there, but to me they're way too long. So I might put new ones. That could have had flathead screws. Still way too long. That's the thread. But they're too long for my liking. They come straight through. So with those screws, the thread will be out here as opposed to there. It's only an AV mount. I only want the thread as long as that, not out here. No worries. Well, I'm going to leave it there for today, and I'll get back into it when I get home from work. Got a couple of days. 2, 4, 5 days left of the job. Oh, left of this job. So I'll be home on the weekend and hopefully getting back into this so I can finish it. So hope you all have a good night, and I'll catch us on the next one. Thank you.